Good evening. Today I'm going to an important topic in business law, that is Consumer Protection Act. So, what is this Consumer Protection Act and why it came into existence? What for, and what are the contents of this Consumer Protection Act? Before going to that, we must know who is a consumer. A consumer is a person who purchases goods for his purpose and pays the money or promise to pay the money in the future, and he will take the goods and he will consume them, he will use them. That person will call him as a consumer. And this consumer, when he is deceived by the seller, automatically there must be a protection for the consumer, okay, in order to get deceived by the seller. The sellers, in anticipation of huge profits, they will sometimes deceive the consumer by selling defective goods or unqualified goods. Okay, unqualified goods. Thereby, they'll mint money and get more profits. And this process, okay, I'm not telling that it is everywhere. In some places, from years together, at one place or other place, people they are deceived by the sellers. In order to restrict this type of procedures, a Consumer Protection Act came into existence. And this act, it will give much importance for the consumer who purchases goods innocently, not knowingly, innocently, when he was deceived by the seller. In order to protect that person, in order to protect that person, this Consumer Act came into existence. And this Consumer Act, it came into existence after a long period of time. That is, okay, in 1980s, okay, it came into existence, taking into account the various recommendations by the representatives of the people, the court officials, the government, whether it may be state government or central government, whatever it may be. Okay, they they have taken they have taken some steps to protect the consumer from the defective items as well as deceiving sellers. So, first of all, we have to understand what are the various things that we come across, what are the definitions that we come across in this, okay, or according to the Consumer Protection Act. Okay, so some of them I'm going to remain, submit, or keep them before you all. Thereby, people they can able to understand and they can not be deceived further. And when they are deceived, what protection they can get from the Consumer Protection Act. For this, I am doing a small trial. Thereby, I suppose that all the people they can able to understand and bless me in keeping the things before you. First one is appropriate laboratory. Appropriate laboratory is nothing but the consumer forums. They are nothing but the consumer problem. Here, laboratory means don't be of that opinion that it is a science laboratory or some other laboratory. It is a laboratory especially for consumers, especially for consumers. Okay, so I'm going to reveal that. It is the laboratory or organization recognized by central government or state government subject to guidelines prescribed by central government or any laboratory established by under any law for the time being in force. This is a manual laboratory and it will take into account only the consumers and what are the defects that the consumers that they have faced, how they are deceived by the people. Okay, here one thing you have to keep in mind is there is a proverb, when a tiger comes, a tiger won't fear and they'll go hand in hand. But when two people, when they come, okay, they won't be in a friendly manner. They will always concentrate to, okay, exaggerate themselves over the others. ఓకే అందుకని తెలుగులో ఒక పులిని చూస్తే పులి అన్నట్టు బెదరదు అలాగే మనిషికి ఏమో మాయ రోగం మనిషిని చూస్తే in order to keep their ego in order to keep their ego in order to keep their greatness over the others people they won't allow the other people to be good. Okay, so this is the thing. It is maintained, financed, and aided by central government or state governments. That is nothing but the consumer forums. These forums, okay, by the central government or state government, they will be protected and they will see that there should not be any malpractice, misappropriations by people on people. Okay, and people, one thing I'm going to tell you is, people, they won't think when they are selling the goods, when they are giving the goods, they'll think that they are the superiors. But poor creatures, they don't know that they are also one of the buyers for other commodities. Okay, when one person, when he purchases some commodity from a seller, okay, that seller also, he will be a consumer for another commodity. So if one person deceives another person will deceive this person. So like that, the nature is. Okay. Now, complainant. Complaint can be filed by complainant. The term complainant is defined by section 2, subsection 1 as consumer, any voluntary consumer act, or under any other law for the time being in force, the central government or any state government, one or more consumers where there are numerous consumers having the same interest make a complaint. In case of death of a consumer, he is his legal heir or representative. The definition considers three categories, namely consumer, any recognized voluntary association or association, either central or state government. Apart from second and third categories, any complainant must be a consumer of either goods or services. Okay, it won't take into account the second and third categories. Okay, it will take into account the first category and the remaining categories, that is fourth one and fifth one. Like this, you come across. Next, complaint. What is a complaint? And all these things, these are nothing but the definitions given by the Consumer Protection Act. Complaint. The starting point in a consumer action is filing a complaint. Any complainant can file a complaint taking any of the following consumer disputes: a restrictive trade practice or unpaid trade practice adopted by any trader or service provider, defective goods, defensive in services, charging of excess price for goods and services, offering of goods and services that are hazardous to life and safety. The complaint must be in writing, specifying the name, description, and address of the complainant and the opposite party. It must state the facts when and where they arose. It must also specify the reality which the complainant is seeking. So this thing is nothing but the complaint that we come across. Okay. And this act, it defines who is a consumer. A consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid or promised or under any system of deferred payment and includes any user of such goods but does not include first one, a person who obtains such goods for resale or any other commercial purpose, pays or avails of any service for consideration which has been paid or promised or partly paid or partly promised or under any deferred payment includes any beneficiary of such services but does not include who avails of such service for any commercial purpose. This is about the consumer. Once again, I'm repeating that. A consumer means any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid. Okay, already when he pays, but when he gets goods of defective nature or inappropriate nature, then or promised he will pay, or under any system of deferred payment and includes any user of such goods but does not include. Okay, so of deferred payment and includes any user of such goods but does not include a person who obtains such goods for resale. Okay, a person who obtains such goods for resale or any other commercial purpose. Okay, apart from resale for any commercial purpose. That person pays or avails of any service for a consideration which has been paid. Heirs means representatives. One thing you have to take into account. Heirs means here representatives, legal representatives of the person. Heirs or avails of any service for consideration which has been paid or promised or partly paid or partly promised or under any deferred payment includes any beneficiary of such services but does not include who avails of such service for any commercial purpose. This is about the definition given by the Consumer Protection Act of 1986 regarding a consumer. Okay, so whenever he come across any defects, whenever he come across any misappropriations, what he has to do? For redressal under Consumer Protection Act, it is necessary to prove that one is consumer as defined under the Act. So when you want any redressal, okay, any solution under Consumer Protection Act, it is necessary to prove that one is consumer as defined under the Act. Thus, the definition of consumer covers, okay, the definition of consumer covers one who buys or agreed to buy goods for consideration and for personal use, not for commercial purpose, not for some other purpose, for his personal use. That is one. One who uses such goods with the permission of buyer. Okay, suppose if any person, if he uses the goods, okay, with the permission of the buyer. C, one who retain goods on hire purchase or lease. Next, one who hires or avails of any service for a consideration. Next, one who uses the service with the permission of person who has hired the services. Next one who obtains services on deferred payment system. Next, one who buys goods or hires services exclusively for purpose of earning his livelihood as self-employment. These are the various things that we come across which tells us who is a consumer. Who is a consumer? Once again, I'm repeating all these things. One who buys or agrees to buy goods for consideration and for personal use. Okay, we will call him as consumer. Next, debit. One who uses such goods with the permission of buyer. That is, we can say that bailey. Okay, the buyer will be the bailer, and the person who is using the goods with the permission of the buyer is also, we can also treat him as a consumer. One who retains goods on hire purchase or lease, retains, okay, keep the goods on hire purchase or lease. Next, one who hires or avails of any service for a consideration. This is the thing. One who hires or avails of any service for a consideration. Next, one who uses the service with the permission of person who has hired the services, who has given the services. One who obtains services on deferred payment system. Next, one who buys goods or hires services exclusively for purpose of earning his livelihood as self-employment. These persons, we will call them as consumers. And if they are disturbed, automatically the Consumer Act will take its action on the persons, who have done that. Okay. Now, consumer dispute. What is this consumer dispute? Dispute means nothing but quarrel. Why the consumer dispute comes into existence? What for? It means a dispute where a person against whom a complaint has been made denies or disputes the allegation contained in the complaint. Okay. It is nothing but a quarrel where a person against whom a complaint, on whom he is giving a complaint, okay, on whom he is giving a complaint has been made, denies or disputes the allegation contained in the complaint. Whatever it may be, the thing that is there in the complaint, on that only he has to quarrel. He has to go for dispute, not on other things. Defect. It means any fault or imperfection or shortcoming in the quality, quantity, potency, purity, or standard which is required to be maintained under any law for the time being in force, or he is claimed by the trader in any manner whatsoever in relation to any goods. Okay, so that is first thing about defect. It means any fault or imperfection or shortcoming in the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard. These are all the things that we come across, which is required to be maintained under any law for the time being in force, or as he is complained, as he is claimed by the trader in any manner whatsoever in relation to any goods. The trader, he should not, okay, he should not be claimed. So it means that the trader must be honest. The trader must be honest. Whenever the trader is honest, automatically no one will complain. No one will, okay, claim anything from the trader. But when he is a defensive, when he is a deceiving person, when he is a fraudulent, automatically everyone, when they purchase the goods, when they buy the goods, automatically they claim that there is deficiency, that there is defect in the quality, quantity, potency, okay, purity, and standard. That we are not having a quality goods. We are not having a quantity goods. Okay, in most of the cases, so many people, they are deceived. Okay, people now they are using this electronic weighing machines. Okay, now they are using the electronic machines, and the electronic machines, they won't tell any shortage or any illegal thing. But when you go for previous days, people they used to go for this balance, simple balance. And there, the traders, what they used to do is they used to do some malpractices by keeping magnets under one plate. Thereby, what is happening is okay. So much the quantity it is not of genuine nature. The quantity is of not genuine in nature. Whatever they are getting. So and one thing, this is not okay. Today's thing from years together, we are getting this. And there are some places, there are certain places where this malpractices they are happening. Okay, where the malpractices are happening. That's why weights and measures department people, they all told that every person who want to sell the commodities, who want to sell the goods, they must use this electronic weighing machines. These electronic weighing machines. Because when they keep, automatically the machine won't tell any mistake. Machine won't give any malpractice or okay defective things. Whatever it may be, the correct quantity they have, they will show. Of course, okay, if quantity is not done, they'll do this quality wise also. You see, nowadays people they are maintaining this more supermarkets, all those things. And there also some malpractice it is going on. Okay, even though people they are not observing, okay, some malpractices they are going. How sir? So every time they'll sprinkle water on the commodities. For example, if you take into account the vegetables, okay, they'll sprinkle water. So when they sprinkle water, automatically they seems to be very fresh. But when you purchase them and when you bring them home, okay, they'll be spoiled. They will spoil. Okay, like this, the malpractices, misappropriations are going on. And in order to curtail, in order to remove this, in order to abandon this, people they are going for this Consumer Protection Act. They are because it is nothing but the state government and the central government they have provided this services. Okay, by taking into account the defective material and the price taken by the seller and the okay problem or when the defect when it comes to the buyer, all these things they are telling, they are solving. So that's why this Consumer Protection Act came into existence. Okay, deficiency, defect is different and deficiency is different. Defect is in the products or in the services that we come across. Deficiency means okay lacking, okay lackingness. They'll say that we are not happy. Even though they are happy, they will say that they are not happy. This is nothing but deficiency. So that deficiency also it must not be there. So when you take into account the pandemic situation, nowadays what we are facing, some people they are telling that we are not having the vaccinations at all. But thing is, the vaccinations are there, but okay, they are telling that the vaccinations are not there. Why? Because in order to mint money, more money, the government people they are providing at free of cost. Okay, at free of cost they are providing, but in order to get money, in order to squeeze money, okay, they are showing that there is deficiency. So there is a lot of difference between defect and deficiency. Deficiency means nothing but okay lacking. Even though the product is there, simply they'll say that there is deficiency, sir. So when there is deficiency, how people they will get that? They won't get that. So that is most important. Deficiency. It means any fault imperfection or shortcoming or inadequacy in the quality, in the equality required to be maintained under any law for the time being in course or has been undertaken to perform by a person in presence of contract. The word deficiency arises only in case of service. Only in case of service. Defect. Hmm. Okay. Defect means in case of goods you will come across, whereas deficiency is in the service. In the service. So hospitals. At present, if you take into account the corporate hospitals, those people they are squeezing the blood like anything. And after squeezing the blood, they are giving the dead bodies. Simply dead bodies. That is, they are killing the dead bodies. Okay. Some people they are telling that there is no oxygen cylinders. Okay. Even though we are getting oxygen from different countries and different people, when even though they are providing, some people they are telling that we are not having oxygen cylinders. And another thing is, okay, the second pandemic, this thing is, okay, this black fungus. Okay, by using this rotten cylinders, okay, and by filling oxygen in that, automatically you will come across this black fungus. And people they are telling that the black fungus will come for sugar patients and those people who cured from corona, all these things. Okay, this is nothing but an infection. I do know that. I do agree with that. But why it is coming to some people only? Why not to all the people? My question is, why not to all the people? And do you mean to say that they are not, that there is no oxygen? No, it is not that. It is the laboratory oxygen. Okay, laboratory oxygen, clinical oxygen. When you want clinical oxygen, you have to provide a good cylinders. You have to take into account good cylinders and you have to use them and you have to provide oxygen for those people. But thing is, people they are not doing that. They are filling the oxygen, they are giving that, and without any proper care, without any proper action or operations. Again, they are refilling that same cylinders. With that, automatically, the people they'll get this pandemic disease. I'm asking for the people. Why some people only they get black fungus? Why not all the things? As it is as people they are telling that it is a contaminated disease. All the people they must get. Okay, all the people they must get this contaminated disease. Why some people only? What for? This is nothing but deficiency in service. Deficiency in service. That is the most thing that we have to observe. Okay. It means any fault, imperfection, or shortcoming or inadequacy in the quality required to be maintained under any law for the time being in course or has been undertaken to perform by a person in pursuance of a contract. We must get a contract, thereby we must be in a good position. We must be in a healthy position. So, in pursuance of contract. Okay, when you go for contract, okay, what is this contract, sir? Okay, contract is nothing but an agreement and enforceability by law. And what is agreement? Offer and acceptance. So, offer, acceptance, and enforceability by law is nothing but a contract. There, when you take into contract, automatically there must be consideration. So for anticipation of this consideration, people they are going, and if any peer person, if they are pursuant for that, then automatically it is nothing but a deficiency. So the word deficiency arises only in case of service. Example, dishonoring of a check by a bank despite sufficient balance in account. Okay, dishonoring of a check by a bank despite sufficient balance in account. You see, some people they'll go for banks, and those people's accounts they will have some balance with them. But the bank people, when they dishonor the check, it is nothing but deficiency. It is nothing but deficiency. Even though there is a balance in the bank account, why the bank people they have to dishonor? And if you ask the bank people, so why you dishonored this check? Okay, they'll say that the date is not correct, and there is overwriting, there is cancellations. Okay, there are mistakes in the words, there is mistake in the signature, it is not tallying, there is mistake in the date. Okay, there is a mistake in the things that he submitted an old check. All these things they'll show that in order to protect themselves. Okay, when the check, whatever it may be the check, whether it is an old check or a new check, when the person, when he correctly written writes that, when he correctly signs on that, when he correctly gives the check, and when you see whether his accounting, whether his account is having balance or not, there is no necessity for the bank people to dishonor that. So that is nothing but the deficiency of, that is nothing but the deficiency of a bank. And the same way, not providing berth against reserved accommodation in a train, not providing berth against reserved accommodation in a train. The people, the TCs, ticket collectors, even though there is a berth vacant, they have to provide. They have to provide in a reservation compartment. But okay, when the person, when he pays the ticket along with reservation, they have to provide. But those people, in order to get money, in order to collect more money, they will say that there is no reservation, there are no berths in the train. Train is not a small one. Train is not a small one. It is having so many bogies. So if not in one bogie, he must be provided at some other bogie. In some other bogie has to be, he must be provided. But they'll say that, okay, we are not having berths. Even though the berths are available, okay, what he will do is they'll collect more money, okay, over and above the reservation fees, whatever the passenger he pays. Beyond that, also he will take some money, extra money, and that money, okay, I'll say that surely that it won't go to the concerned department. It will go to his private activities. So this is nothing but deficiency that we, and whenever any person, when he pinpoints that deficiency or defect, he will be a bad person. He will be a bad person to the people, to the public. They cannot make him, okay, alive. This man, he will always comment and he argues. He will always pinpoint the mistakes and defects. See, there must be some person to pinpoint the mistakes and defects. Unless otherwise, okay, the mistakes and defects won't be corrected. So like that, you will come across deficiency. And after that, district forum. This is the consumer disputes redressal forum. Okay, district forum. This is a consumer redressal forum. This is one of them. We are having three types of redressal forums. Okay, district consumer forum, state commission or state forum, state forum, and national forum. So what is the difference and why we have to go for these things? Whatever it may be, the complaints that were not solved in district level, they'll go to state level. And whatever it may be, the complaints that were not solved in state level, they'll go to national level. And at national level, most of the consumer disputes will be solved. And if not, then immediately they'll go to the president of the country. This is the structure that we come across. This is the structure that we come across. And if you want to go for this district forum, okay, the value of the commodity, it must be less than 20 lakhs. It must be less than 20 lakhs. And when it is going to district level means the value of the commodity, it must be between 20 lakhs to 1 crore. And when it is going to national level, it is above 1 crore. So like this, the value also plays an important role in this Consumer Protection Act. Next, manufacturer. Who is a person? Who is a manufacturer? Who converts the raw materials into finished goods? That is, we can say in one word, the rocks into cream. The rocks into cream. That person, will call him as a manufacturer. And the manufacturer, he should not deceive any other person. He has to take into account the quality, quantity, everything, each and every bit he has to keep concentration. And he has to give genuine products to the people. For the purpose of people, he has to give a genuine product. If he makes mistakes, if he makes defects, if he makes deficiency, then automatically the other people also, they will follow the same practice. And here, when you go for manufacturer, okay, we'll have a channels of distribution. You have channels of distribution. So what are the channels of distribution? Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, and ultimately consumer. The manufacturer manufactures the goods and sells them to the wholesaler and in bulk quantities. And the wholesaler, he will again sell in small quantities to retailer. And the retailer, he will sell the goods to the consumer. So like this, you'll come across channels of distribution. And as a manufacturer, you should not be of that nature. Whatever it may be, the product that you're manufacturing, it should be of good quality. Okay, it should be of good quality. That quality analysis must be taken by the manufacturer. Unless otherwise quality analysis is not there. And when the company, when it is producing defective products, automatically the whatever it may be, the confidence of the people, whatever it may be, the confidence of the people on the manufacturer, it will go away. And he won't continue as a producer or manufacturer. So we have to be very careful when you go for manufacturing, because we are taking into account from that point. We are taking into account from that point, because when you take into account the manufacturer, automatically all the people, they'll come. That is the channels of distribution, it will come into picture. Manufacturer is a person who makes all manufactures any goods or parts thereon, or does not make or manufacture any goods, but assembles the parts they are made by other person, puts or causes to be put his own mark on any goods made or manufactured by others. This is the thing that we are coming across. This is the thing that we are coming across. And most of the people, they are doing this thing. See, a genuine manufacturer is a person who takes so much risk, stress, strain, everything, and he faces so much risk to manufacture the product from raw materials. And there are some people, who shows themselves as manufacturers, but actually speaking, they are not manufacturers. They will purchase the goods from the other persons, and they will keep their labels, they will keep their emblems, and they will sell them in the market as their products. This is also one of the important things. So whomever it may be, whether the first category persons or the second category persons, we have to call them as manufacturers. Because it is obvious, the person who wants to get the commodity, he would think, who is the manufacturer, okay, of what product, he cannot keep all the things in his mind. So what he thinks is, I want a best commodity, I want a best commodity at cheapest prices, thereby I can feel happy, I can use them, I can consume them, I can enjoy them. Like that, people, they will think. But whatever it may be, the defects, whatever it may be, the deficiency, whatever it may be, the malpractices made by the manufacturers, people, they cannot able to know that. So manufacturer is also one of the important things that we have to concentrate. Okay, next, National Commission. This is also a consumer disputes redressal forum at national level. Okay, this is also National Commission, State Commission, National Commission, and District, okay, forum. Now, next thing is person. Okay, person means don't be of that opinion that he is an individual. This person, it includes so many things. When you take, okay, this business law, or when you go for income tax, okay, person means he will have different things. Person means a cooperative society, HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, a registered firm, an individual, association of persons, or an artificial person. All these 5 categories you will come across, okay, in this person. Whether you go for law or whether you go for income tax. When you come across person means, okay, he is an individual, he is an HUF, he is a registered firm, a company, a cooperative society, association of persons, or an artificial person. Okay, generally artificial person means company only, because it is nothing but an artificial person created by court of law. So these person means, don't be of that opinion that he is an individual. He may be anything. He may be HUF, Hindu Undivided Family. Okay, so like this you'll come across person. Now, service. This means service of any description which is made available to potential users, includes no limitation to the provisions of faculties in connection with banking, financing, etc. Okay, what is a service? So we won't take into account the banking and the financial services. There are services, no doubt. But thing is, apart from banking and financial services, whatever it may be the service that you come across, okay, we have to take that as a service. Okay, service of any description, transportation, that is one service. Okay, looking after individuals, hospitals, it is a service organization, clubs, okay, colleges, schools, whatever. Apart from banking and financial services, whatever it may be, the services that we come across, we'll call them as service. And if there is any defect in this, The Consumer Protection Act will take severe action upon that. It can go for criminal cases. It can adopt criminal cases. So with this, I'm closing, and tomorrow I'm going to continue this. Thank you.